Hang on. Before you start that social media agency, you need to hear what Landon Bates just told me. You're going to learn about what works and what doesn't work among all these people that are talking about how you can start a social media agency and start making $10,000 next month. Let's talk about what's real and what isn't. Young adults starting social media agencies. There's a lot of them. Today on the Coach U Show, we have Landon Bates, special friend of mine for many years, and we're going to talk about what it really means behind the scenes to start an agency. All you hear on the internet is just tons of success. Yep. But where are the problems? Where are the failures? What do people really need to know? If you're a young adult wanting to start an agency, or if you're looking to hire a young adult, what do you really need to know about how social media agencies behave?
Yes.
Today, we have Landon Bates on our show, and he's going to tell us all about that, his experience when he started at 18 and now at 23. So I hope you guys tune in, listen up, save yourself a ton of mistakes. Landon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Dennis. It's good to see you again.
So tell me about your journey in social media marketing. How did you get started?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big one. I started when I was 18, like you said. Super young. I did door-to-door in high school, so I kind of had the sales background, and it was actually good old Ty Lopez. I'm sure many people...
Why Topez?
Yeah. And so I bought his SMMA course and started learning and went from there. But it's been a wild ride.
Wild? What's
Definitely.
The wildest part?
You know, I think the wildest part was that I moved to California as soon as I started making money. Yeah. So the wildest part was really just meeting people and being in new environments and everything like that. But it's a volatile business, especially if your delivery's not dialed in and stuff, because you could pick up 3, 4, 5 clients and then drop them the next month.
Yeah, is that what happened?
Many times, many times.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. One of the things I think is a misconception is that it's just easy to get people to pay you like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month. That's not been my experience. You can, obviously there's industries and products that have margin that you can sell profitably, but it takes a lot of time to figure it out. So yeah, I had really good lead flow and sales and stuff. And I was doing real estate. Mm-hmm. So just so people know, but yeah, we get a lot of realtors on board. It's easy to want to spend money on, getting leads when that's the lifeblood of your business, but not all the time can they actually close those leads. So yeah.
Now you were called the attractive agent at that time.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes, I was. You were making
videos. I saw.
Man, you're bringing back memories, man. Man. Yes, I had the blue shirt, the blue collar shirt.
You're in Utah making these videos outside.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, are you a real estate agent looking to drive leads on social media?
Yeah.
I can help you. Sign up for a free audit and I'll help you get your first free leads. I'm Landon Bates, the attractive agent. Contact me below and let's set up a 15-minute appointment or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to get in front of people, get people to know who you are.
So when I saw these videos, I thought, man, this guy is going nuts on Facebook. He's making all these videos every day, saying the same thing every time. But all I see is Landon. I don't see your clients. Mm-hmm. I don't see the results that you have. Mm-hmm. I don't see that you're hanging out with Tom Ferry. I don't see you where you're helping a homeowner with their listing, buyer or seller leads. I don't see you working with the real estate agents. I see you just pitching to real estate agents. And so what that told me was this guy's out here trying to sell real estate agents to sign up for his service, but he doesn't appear to have any referenceable clients. And I see a lot of agencies, especially young adults, they have the chicken and egg where they don't have any clients. So what do you do when you don't have any clients, but you're trying to convince someone to go with you?
Yeah, it makes sense. And that's where I think a better model is to, get someone on for free if you don't have experience and get them a result first. And then you can start charging a portion of that, value. But that's what I would do if I was starting over. Yeah.
So talk about some of the biggest belly flops you've had.
I mean, none of them, it's not really belly flops. The biggest problem was clients not closing the leads. So that's going to be the biggest issue in most industries. Mm-hmm. You need to probably have your own team calling is where most of the people are at right now. You can give them scripts, but you're going to probably need to figure it out for yourself first. Because if you don't know how to close business, the client's probably not going to know either. So you don't want the fate of your business in the hands of, whether or not someone can sell.
That's probably the biggest issue with service businesses, especially the smaller ones or the small real estate agents, where someone like Landon can run the Facebook ads, can run Google ads, can drive people to a website or to some kind of form. And you might be able to measure that, but then what happens to that lead?
Yeah. It's all just a big blur.
And then a month later, the agent comes back to you and says, hey, what's the ROI here? I haven't gotten any more clients.
Yeah.
Any more deals off of this.
Yeah. And to be fair, I mean, a lot of the time it is their fault. I've even worked with some of the top agents and used some better software where you can track how many calls they're making. Mm-hmm. And so I had probably 20 clients who were all making $250,000 or more selling real estate. So these are top 5-10%. Mm-hmm. And they all, I was telling this to my buddy, the average number of leads that they called in a 3 or 6 month partnership was 12. I'm like, dude, you're not going to make any money if you call 12 people. So I would definitely get some ISAs, which are just, people who can call, figure out the scripting. It's just a lot of work that goes into it. You need the right ad, you need the right phone script, you need the right offer. So that's why it's good to learn from somebody who knows what they're doing first before jumping in. Not that you can't jump in, you can if you want to, but it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
So
it's not about selling that real estate agent or plumber or garage door guy.
Yeah, that's the easy part.
Yeah. The hard part is you have to track it all the way through to a sale. So the thing I've seen in the last 2 years is it could be other agencies, it could be the clients themselves are hiring virtual assistants or other people that are there answering the phone. If you don't answer that phone within 60 seconds, you have 1/5 the value of that lead.
Yeah.
Like you literally have to answer within 60 seconds and you have to call them back. You have to reschedule. You have to text them. All of these, like if you're now paying $50, $60 a lead on Google and you don't call them back immediately, that person's already looking at that next agent, next personal injury attorney, next mortgage broker, next whatever it is they're looking for.
Yeah.
In legal, these are called intake teams. And for all of our clients that we have in legal, for example, there are teams that are there 24 hours around the clock that answer the phone immediately. And if you don't use like a call rail or other call tracking system, then you really have no idea what's going on. A lot of people will use like go high level with a Twilio integration to be able to track the calls. Mm-hmm. But even if they have that software or they have a lot of this AI driven software that will now like text people back automatically in a smart kind of way, that's still not enough. You need a real human to talk to. So having either a virtual assistant, having a dedicated intake team, if you're big enough, and it shouldn't go to just the owner's cell phone because you're busy doing all this other stuff. There's no way you're going to be available at moment's notice. You need people who are dedicated just to answering the phone. Yes.
And that takes a lot of work to set up.
Yeah.
Because you gotta test the ads, you gotta test the scripting, you gotta know how to hire, you gotta know how to train, you gotta know how to keep them. Mm-hmm. So that's where it's a lot harder than people think it is. Honestly, if I were to go back, I would probably say if you're interested in sales, go sell solar door to door or go sell security door to door because it's the same pit. Not that it's easy, but it's simpler. It's 100% simpler.
Yeah, but then you got to be good at.
You got to talk to people, but you got to talk to the leads anyway too.
So what's the attraction then of this Ty Lopez start your own social media agency where you just all of a sudden you're making $10,000 a month supposedly? Right. So easy, right? All these kids on Instagram are making all this money doing social media, right?
Yeah. Well, it sounds good because it's like, if you can bring a business $10,000, then they'll pay you. It's like, okay, that sounds awesome. Mm-hmm. But if it was so easy to just bring a business $10,000, they would have probably already done it. So,
but they assume the young adults know social media.
Yeah. And you can figure it out, but just depends on what you want to do.
Now you moved to San Diego to be in an influencer house.
Yeah, Entrepreneur House. Man, you're bringing back memories.
Now, what is that and why did you do it?
That's a concept. I don't know who started the concept, but it's like themed houses. So you could have like a dancer house, a creative house, whatever. But ours was based on entrepreneurs. So we had like someone to come clean for us and eventually they got someone to cook for them, and we all had the same goals and same house values. So it was awesome.
But you had different businesses.
We all owned our own businesses, and kind of like college for entrepreneurs.
Like a reality TV show.
I never thought of it like that.
You guys lived in, it wasn't quite a mansion, but it was a nice house.
It was a nice house. A little old. Could have been
5
better.
or 6 guys in one house?
Yeah, 5. 5 of us.
So what's that? Isn't that a little crazy? A little too much partying?
It was a little too much testosterone. I was not expected for that. But no, we didn't party. Hardly. We had like 2 parties. Yeah, we didn't even. I would have liked if we had partied more, actually.
But you did organize events, meetups.
Yeah, we did. We did a couple. Yeah, we did a couple. It was fun.
Yeah. So what else did you learn in the first couple of years of your journey as a social media agency?
I mean, you got to learn how to write advertising copy. You got to learn how to write headlines. You got to learn how to structure off. There's a lot that you need to learn to actually stand out and survive. Mm-hmm. If you want to just do it for 2 years, you could probably get away with doing something basic, but it's all the same. You need an ad. You need something persuasive. You need a good offer. You need to target the right list of people. You need to use the correct channel. Is it Facebook? Is it email? Is it YouTube? And then you got to compete with all the other people who are playing that same game. And it's a competitive game because there's a lot of money in it. So
they all look the same and sound the same, don't they?
They all, in every industry. And that's where we all have to innovate and try to be better. But that's what makes it great. So
Landon, you were focusing on copywriting.
Yes.
And being able to write persuasive words in ads, in landing pages, in videos, in one-on-one sales calls.
Yeah.
What did you learn about that process?
I mean, people go too deep into the persuasion. Like, you're not going to mind control someone into doing something. It's kind of alluring. It was alluring for me, at least. Like, oh, I'm going to get super good. But it's more just giving people good deals, because they can tell in their gut if it's a good deal. So if you come out with a better, guarantee, better offer, something where it's genuinely the best that's available, then you don't really have to do too much.
Well, how much is copywriting and persuasive words versus just having a great reputation and knowing what you're doing?
Oh, probably like 20% or less. It depends on the model. Yeah. You have a good network. So that's probably the best way to do it. But yeah.
So what do you have to say to young adults that are thinking about starting a social media agency?
I mean, you could do it if you want. Just listen to what I'm saying before you jump in. If you want to, spend half a decade getting good at all these different components and it's interesting to you, then you should follow your gut and you should follow your dream and do it. But if you're not obsessed with it, it's not like any better than any other industry or business. It's going to be difficult. So it's a business. And
you found it wasn't easy money, because when you start an agency, even if you're good at copywriting, and that's the thing that you're specializing in, still within your agency, someone else has to be good at ads. Someone else has to build landing pages.
Someone else has to sell
clients. Yep. Someone's got to build websites. There's all these other things that have to happen, just like in any other kind of business.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you're good at one thing, but you don't know much about the other 4 or 5 things you need?
You got to figure them out. If you want to be a business owner, you don't have a choice. You can't hire it till you know how to do it yourself.
You didn't know much about ads at that point.
I knew enough. I knew enough. I knew enough. I wasn't bad.
Okay. But the
what was my worst?
You have to learn 5 or 6.
Yeah, you got to learn like 7, 8 different jobs, and you got to be good at all of them.
Good luck.
Yes. Yeah. If you want work-life balance and all that, and you want to do this, good luck. But
how hard were you working?
Oh man, honestly, it wouldn't even be fun to go into. Like, it was just years of getting punched in the gut every single day. Couldn't pay my bills. People rejecting me. Because it's not just one thing. Like, you're having 6 calls in a row. They all think it's like a scam because they've tried 7 other agencies, you know what I mean, who all sound the same. So, and I'm just doing anything I possibly can to figure this out. And it was crazy.
Now, you were telling me you were doing call after call, and often you'd have to spend 20 or 30 minutes with the client only at the end to find out that they didn't want to work with you. So that was a waste of time. How did you deal with the fact that there were so many of these calls? And if you didn't do these calls, you wouldn't have an opportunity to close a deal.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but obviously it's better if you get a more, more trust, more credibility, because they're just going to, want to buy faster. Not that that's even the most important thing. Most important thing is the relationship.
How did you decide on real estate?
Just fell into it. I posted I had my buddy's dad was a realtor. He let me run some ads for him, drove him some leads, and he liked the results. So then I posted in a Facebook group back in the day when you could just post and get a ton of reach. You still can get decent reach.
Still can.
Yeah. And it just kind of took off.
And then at one point you moved to Vegas. And you met some cool people in Vegas.
I met some awesome people.
So what happened there?
One of them is here with me right now. I just got tired of getting punched in the gut, basically, and came to try to work under someone else, and then realized I would rather just keep struggling on my own. So, but we're still good friends. So that's the most important thing.
And you got to hang out a bunch of times with Brad Lee.
Yeah, that was amazing. Awesome. So cool.
What'd you learn about Brad Lee?
He's a good guy. One thing I noticed was he believes that he's going to get it done. And I think that's why he does. He's got a lot of optimism. I think we need to protect people who have a lot of optimism.
Yeah. Well, you got to have the alpha male who believes that everything's possible.
Yes.
Wakes up with optimism.
Yes. The Elons.
What do you think about interactive video?
I'm probably not the best person to ask, but I think it's with where everything's going, it's probably going to be pretty big, wouldn't you say?
I'm a big proponent. I'm biased.
Yeah, you're in there. You're invested, so that says that.
I believe that deep fakes are such that you can't even tell whether it's actually Landon and I in this podcast or the AI is generating it.
That's true.
Like you see a video with Donald Trump, at least when I do, the first thing I think is that real or did somebody fake that? And can you tell? I mean, can you tell it's real?
Yeah, who knows?
It's 2023, February, and Landon and I are here in the video studio for real. So if you're watching this later, this is not AI generated. This is real.
But it could be.
So now you're 23. What are some of these lessons or things that you would tell the 18-year-old Landon?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you got to kind of figure it out as you go through. Because if you don't experience it, it's kind of just in one ear out the other. But if he was going to listen, I would say to focus more on just outworking everybody, probably be the best, because people can tell when you're the best. Focus on the offer, like marketing wise, more so in relationships, and look at what businesses are still there, even though it's hard because it's over you don't have the time horizon. But I like to look at what survives, and so yeah, that's what got me interested in selling real estate, is because I see all these realtors 6, 7, 8 years later, they're still making a couple $100,000 a year. Can't argue that.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Staying power. I'm a big fan of local service businesses because you don't have to be the winner overall. And in every city, there's many dentists. Yes. There's many plumbers. There's many real estate agents. There's many of everything. Even most locksmiths are making over $100,000 a year. Do you know in the United States what the number one most common category of millionaire is?
Dentist.
It's dentists.
Wow, I'm surprised I got that right.
And that's covered in a book called The Millionaire Next Door. Do you know what number 2 is?
Give me a second. Dentist. It has to do with health or no?
Well, if you add up all of health, then yeah.
I can't think of it. Oh, it's real estate. Yeah. Okay. Real estate agent.
Yeah. Real estate agents. So the people that make the most money, I don't mean make billions of dollars, but the people that make
6 figures.
Yeah. 6 figures, $500,000 are local service businesses.
Yes.
And the easiest way to make money is either become a local service business or serve local service businesses, which is what we do.
Yes.
Instead of trying to be an influencer or some kind of social media figurehead.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do.
You don't want to be famous. Go get lunch without everyone turning their, not that I have that experience, but I'm just saying it doesn't sound fun to me.
What's been your coolest experience in the last 5 years?
Oh man, that's it's too hard to pick, man. I've done a lot of stuff. Just being able to travel probably with my friends and by myself and have good times. It's awesome.
If I were to ask 3 of your friends, who is Landon Bates? What would they say?
Man, you're just going to have to ask them. I think they'd say I'm a nice guy. I think they would say that we'll leave it at that. I don't want to talk about myself too much.
You're a humble guy. I think that's what they'd say.
Yes. Well, so that's what we'll leave it at.
Yeah.
No.
What's your favorite food?
Korean barbecue. And you introduced me to that. Yeah. See, power of connection. I would have never known about my favorite food.
So for those who haven't been to Korean barbecue, what's that all about?
So it's Korean meat, and the pole is, there's a stove on the middle of the table that you specifically cook the meat on. So they give you like tongs and scissors, and you can cut up some steaks or whatever, and it's all you can eat meat. It's pretty good. It's my favorite.
Even in Utah, where you live now, they have it.
Yes. Probably not Vegas quality, but it's still good. It's very good. No complaints.
So what are you doing now?
Yeah, now I'm just selling real estate. It's a lot simpler, and like you said, there's a lot of money to be made. I care about that it's a good deal for people. So, and
there's nothing better than to actually be the service that you're selling. So Landon started out by being a real estate marketing agency, but if you're going to be a real estate agency, there's nothing better than saying, I'm a real estate agent as well.
Yeah. And people do that, and some of them kill it. So that's another proof right there.
We have friends who, my buddy Ryan just sold his decorative concrete company to Tommy Mello. And he also has an agency that serves decorative concrete companies. So he specialized in that particular niche.
Smart.
So because he's demonstrated that he can start a company and sell it for 7 figures in 18 months, he knows how to operate that company with the different trucks, with having an actual office, buying supplies, hiring technicians that go around and do the work.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. That's the number one thing, right? Go actually do something first, and then you can sell it all day long. But if you flip flop that, then you're not gonna last.
Yep. So a lot of people are wondering, what is it like being a young adult working in our program? Because they see folks like you traveling, they see us hanging out with cool people. What is that really like?
Yeah, I mean, Dennis is going to take care of you. Just work hard and follow the instructions, and he's gonna take care of you. He's been doing this a long time and has no incentive not to take care of people who are doing a good job. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, it's that simple. A lot of young adults, they see the glamour of social media, and they don't realize there's actually a business component. And the business component is that when we're at a conference and we're hanging out with these other people, we're there to actually build their brand. We're there to collect content, even though it could be like a casual situation. Maybe there's drinks, maybe I don't even drink when drinks are coming out because I know it's a professional situation. And so when we are representing the company and we look good, then this makes everyone else in our network look good. And then when we can honor the client by capturing their video, by talking about what they're doing, by processing what we call the content factory, that's stuff that we're then able to boost to be able to grow their business, to get more people to buy their services, more people to sign up for whatever program they have. And that's why these people that we're working with, you could say it's like a Brad Lee or a Tommy Mello or a Daryl Isaacs or these other companies. All of them know that we're working behind the scenes to make them look good. We're collecting that content. We're giving it to the VAs to process it. We're running ads against it, and we're driving more sales. So these figureheads a lot of them are famous, which is kind of good and bad. It's not that they're hanging out. We're hanging out with them because they're famous. It's because we're working with them like peers. And what's cool is they treat us like peers. Like Brad will take Landon and I out to sushi. And we're not doing celebrity stuff.
Did you hear that, Brad? No, just kidding.
I love sushi. That's where he took us last time, I think. Or like Carrie Kasem. And you and I will have Korean barbecue and then sing karaoke. I could even pull up those songs that you were singing karaoke. I think I have
good times. Good times.
But it's cool to hang out with these other people. But a lot of young adults think that all we do is just hang out and eat Korean barbecue and sing karaoke. But we're actually working. That's what's cool. Like imagine you could have a job where you're able to work with people that are really cool. You don't have to go to an office every single day where you have to check in at 8 a.m. and they do a roll call or mark if you're late or something. But you have to get your stuff done. But that requires discipline. because you don't have an office where everyone's there holding you accountable. So you have to have your own motivation. You have to get your own projects done.
Yeah.
Which is like, I like that freedom because I don't abuse it. I have the discipline to get my stuff done. But I know a lot of young adults, they struggle with the structure because they're used to having a class. They're used to having a teacher tell them when something's due. So did you ever struggle there?
No, never.
You were always
I've always been a self-starter. I don't relate to people who are not that way.
Well, what advice do you have for people that do have that issue?
I don't know. I've never dealt with that. Maybe don't do something where you're responsible for creating your own schedule. Get an environment where someone's gonna help you do it.
So still have your own schedule, but
yeah, just leverage other people to help you get done what you need to get done.
Amen.
I've never dealt with that issue.
You're lucky.
That's like talking to me what would you do on a period or something? I have no idea. No idea.
It's like asking you, what would you do if you were fat?
No idea.
Never been fat.
Yeah.
What else do our young adult friends need to know?
Follow what you are, passionate about, and realize there's no shortcuts. Every industry has talented, hardworking people in it. So pick the one that you want to be the best at, and then go as hard as you want to go. If you want to be the very best, you're probably going to get unbalanced. And if you just want to have a good career, that's cool too. Just, do that. But if whatever you commit to, show up and execute on what you want to do. There's a lot of good options, I feel like, these days for careers and stuff. Even more with all the cool tools. So many. That old people like me have no idea what they are. No, you know what's going on, I feel like. I'm old. I was there when 8-track cassettes were around. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was the most amazing time. So I'd encourage you, follow Landon, follow other young adults in the program. And if you see people that are trying to tell you how to make money and they're charging you, then run, because they're making money by selling you programs on how to make money. Yes. Follow people who are actually successfully doing the thing that you want and are making money doing that thing, not by charging you. Yes. And have been making money for a long time. Yeah. I can't tell you how many people I see. I'm sure you guys see it on Instagram and TikTok, where there's all these guys promising how they're making all this money, but then you have to put in an email address or pay whatever, $19 to get access to this secret. And then once you pay the $19, then they want $497 or $2,000, or what is Ty's program? $5,000? It was $1,000. The one I bought was $1,000. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it's cool when you see someone like Daryl Isaacs as a client of ours. He actually makes money as a personal injury attorney. He's done $2 billion in the last 30 years with 60,000 cases. So he's not charging us. He's already made it. He's already made his money. So he's there looking to grow, and he's paying us. And the same is true for us, where we're hiring other people. The last thing I want is try to get $49 out of Landon. Like, why would I do that? That doesn't even make a difference. But if we can train up the other young adults out there and give them a job that maybe initially makes however much, a couple $1,000s a month, and now they're making $5,000 a month. Now they're making $10,000 a month. That's meaningful. That's meaningful to me. Yep. And I think that attracts other people into our programs. So for me, my mission is to create 1 million jobs. I retired 20 some years ago. I was lucky to be one of the first people at Yahoo. So I sold all my stock. I made enough money not to live like luxuriously, but to not have to really worry. And I decided back then that my goal was to leverage what I knew, because I think all of us are given gifts. Mm-hmm. And mine is to take my gifts and create jobs in digital marketing. And other people I'm super grateful for, like John Jonas, who's got the largest VA site, virtual assistant site on the internet. He's got 2 million Filipinos on his site. Wow, that's awesome. And with him, we've been working together, it's got to be 10 years now. And he credits me for 250,000 jobs created. Wow. So that means we're over a quarter of the way there towards creating 1 million jobs. That's amazing. I've been in Pakistan twice in the last year, which a lot of people think is this dangerous place with bombs and terrorists. They're the nicest people I have ever met. Like, what do you think of Pakistan? You think of Pakistan. War. Yeah, definitely. Like people getting their heads cut off and all sorts of nasty things.
It is the nicest place. They have places that look like Switzerland, where it's beautiful with these giant like mountain glaciers and rivers and beautiful green forests. They have desert areas. They have New York City-like urban areas. They have everything like you'd imagine in the United States. Like we're here in Las Vegas, it's kind of deserty. But there's other parts of the US where like Seattle, there's mountains and trees and snow. And other parts like Florida where it's humid. Pakistan's like that too. They have every kind of region just like we have in the United States. And their population is almost the same as the United States as well. But the difference is, do you know how much the average person makes in Pakistan?
I'll say 8,000 USD per year.
That's actually a little bit high.
Wow.
They make $100 a month.
Oh, so that's really high.
Yeah, you're like 7 times too high.
Wow.
So these people are making $100 a month, and we're training them up on how to use video editing tools, how to make websites, how to do all this social media stuff that you were doing before. And our promise to them is if you get certified in our training, we guarantee you a job at $3 an hour. $3 an hour is $500 a month. Mm-hmm. That's 5 times more money than the average person makes. And when I'm going around Pakistan, I'm staying in the nicest hotels, and like, you know, the gardener guy who's like trimming all the bushes, I ask him, hey, how much money do you make? $80 a month. Wow. I talk to some guy who's like working on a house. He's an electrician. How much do you make? I make $90. I'm at the mall shopping. And they have malls just like everywhere else. They have malls, right? It's just like in other languages. And I'll run into a doctor, like someone who's been a doctor for 20 years, like a surgeon. And I'll say, how much money do you make? Oh, I make $120 a month. Do you know that you could make $500 a month in our program?
Do you say that?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I tell them you can make 100,000 rupees, Pakistani rupees. So $1 US is equal to 200 Pakistani rupees, PKR. Mm-hmm. And we have people who have PhDs or who are like actual doctors quitting their jobs and learning how to do digital marketing.
That's pretty awesome.
$500 a month. And then the cool thing for young adults is, see, a lot of young adults, they think it's like all about them as a figurehead. Your ability to make money is contingent upon your ability to manage a team. So imagine you're running a couple clients, you're running a couple projects, and maybe initially you had to learn the skills yourself. You had to learn how to sell and copyright and do ads and edit videos and do websites and do SEO and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But once you've learned it first yourself a couple times to demonstrate you could do it, then we will give you a team of virtual assistants, of people who work full time for you. They have families. They live in a house, maybe not as nice as the house that you live in, but they live a middle-class lifestyle in Pakistan or the Philippines or Kosovo or Brazil or other places where they don't make as much money as we have in the US. Like imagine you have a team of 5 virtual assistants, VAs, virtual assistants, and we're paying them $500 a month, which is $3 an hour, and they're working for you, and now you're the leader of a team. What is that like?
I don't know. I've never done it, but it sounds pretty great.
Well, think about how much leverage you have. Mm-hmm. Think about how much more you can do. Yeah. You have a team of people that are trained up in the thing that you learned how to do initially.
And that's a good deal for them too.
That's where these social media agencies fall, because the majority of them, they'll just declare that they're the CEO. And it's just a one person. How many one-person social media companies do you know of where that person, just that 18-year-old, just says that they're a CEO and it's just them? They're not a CEO. They're a freelancer.
Yeah.
But the agencies that we see succeeding, maybe there was that initial young adult who started it, but they have a whole team of people. And until you build a team of people, you're never going to get out of basically being an employee. You're going to be a worker until you have a team. Because the rule we say is, if you don't have a VA, who's the VA?
You're the VA.
That's right. So to grow as a business, you have to learn all the things that Landon's talked about, where you have to be able to sell and operate and build relationships, but you need to very quickly be able to replace yourself. And the last thing I want to do is compete against people that are making $3 an hour, because my time is worth way more than that. So I'm not going to do stuff that's worth $3 an hour. And I'd love to farm that off, because that's creating good jobs for other people. So we win too. We're creating jobs for them, and we're doing all this stuff that we don't want to do. And we might effectively charge that out at $15 or $20 an hour and pay $3 an hour.
Yeah.
So you're able to get a lot more work done by lower cost labor.
Yeah.
You can charge, you as an agency, you can charge these underlying clients $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, and your actual cost might be $300 to $400 a month. Mm-hmm. And as long as you maintain the relationship, because think of it this way, you're like a restaurant and there's the cooks in the kitchen. Those are the VAs in mm-hmm. Pakistan and Philippines following our SOPs, recipes basically, right? And then you're the waiter. So what does the waiter do? Well, when someone comes to the restaurant, you have to talk to them about the menu, soup of the day and what's inside the salad and all that. And you take their order, right? You have to have enough knowledge to be able to talk to them and have credibility that you can deliver good food. You take their order and you then bring that order back to the kitchen, and then the mm-hmm. VAs make the food. And then when the food's ready, they ding the bell, you bring the plate out into the front and you serve it to the client. Mm-hmm. That's what an agency does. You have waiters and you have cooks. So we're waiters because we speak good English. I was born in Dayton, Ohio. I'm an American. I speak perfect English, but then I take that order. I listen very carefully and demonstrate good client skills. Then I give that back to the VAs who speak okay English. But when you go to a restaurant, you went to a steakhouse in Paris, was it last night?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You didn't see the people making the food though, did you?
No, I did not.
But you talked to the waiter?
Yep.
And the waiter took your order for the steak frites?
Yep.
But you knew that when you talked to the waiter, and there's the menu and you chose the thing you want. I mean, you probably had a question or two about what was on the menu, right?
Yeah.
You didn't believe that waiter was going to actually go back and cook the steak himself, did you?
No, of course not.
So in any service business, you have the same thing. You have waiters and you have cooks. Every service business. It could be you running an agency. It could be the clients that you serve. There's people that talk to the clients and there's people that do the work. And the beauty is when you can hire a bunch of people to do the work, especially from our program, because they're already trained in our program. Good luck trying to build your own training system. Good luck mm-hmm. trying to find hundreds of thousands of workers to go with you and build that whole system that we've already built. But in our program, we would love to see you win. That's what we've been working on with Jake Paul. I can't wait to release that in the next month or two. Hopefully right after he beats Tommy Fury.
Is he boxing again?
Yeah, he's got 11 days away or something like that. Yeah. Well, Landon Bates, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.